Hello, and welcome to Sekiro. Wearing a different outfit today. This is a ceremonial battle armor mod. I don't use this very much in the video because I realized it was changing some of the enemy textures and models. I'm fine with mods that make Sekiro look different because you can't customize how you look at all otherwise. But I don't want to represent enemies differently. This episode also does contain animal cruelty and flashing lights. Oh.
たとえ源一郎がおれど、アシナの国長くはなさそうだの。してもう一つの任は城の蛇谷の側が黒笠で騒がしいようじゃ。ならば次はそちらよ。だが最新にな、黒笠の無事な生中にはやれぬぞ。
It seems Ishin's illness is indeed grave.
The land of Ashina will not last much longer, even with Genichiro on our side. What about our other mission?
Black Hat is fighting like a demon by the Serpent Valley side of the castle.
Then that's where we're going next. But keep your wits about you. The Black Hat Badger won't go down without a fight.
So, the reason I showed that there is I'm going to be switching to English voice acting. I prefer the Japanese voice acting, but I thought this might be more helpful to people so they can listen more easily. My audience is not Japanese as far as I know. I wouldn't be opposed. I just think most people, of the few people watching this, speak only English. Those are the rats. They're who Tengu want you to kill. It's actually really important to go and kill these guys right here to finish his quest. He gives you a very, very important thing. This is how to stealth through this sort of area past Gyobu. Oh, a thing I forgot to mention about Gyobu. His helmet has antlers. They look similar in design to the Sanada warriors who fought at Osaka. Formerly, they fought under the Takeda and then fought for themselves. Sanada Yukimura, one of the Sanada Braves, being considered one of the greatest warriors of Japan at the time. They wear red armor and have deer antlers. But yeah, this is how you stealth through this area.
We're really planning to use that thing? In the battle. I know. But what choice do we have? Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're in no position to worry about what others might think.
Yes, but...
Hey, keep it together, soldier. Keep talking like that, and they'll put you on its detail. And when it's mad, it doesn't discriminate between friend or foe.
So you can probably already tell that the voice acting is very, very different in English. The tone of characters, the things they're talking about, they'll just flat out say names wrong at times. Just the personalities of the characters are completely different in English. Before I showed how to stealth through the whole area, I'll also be showing how to just kind of normally go through it, fight if you have to. That path I took completely avoids it. You can partially stealth through areas, get some backstabs, fight things. You can also just fight it all if you want. Right here you want to sneak. That is actually why I noticed this was a problem. That guy right there should have a sort of not necessarily wicker or wheat, it's like grass or straw. It's something that they wore for the cult. And Ashina is a very cold region. For some reason with this ceremonial battle armor mod, it just doesn't mention it changed enemies like that, which I did not want. These guys are big dudes. They're from Lorethrough. we'll see a little bit more about them later. I don't entirely like how they're handled. When you look up on their faces, they're very simple, big, baby-like. Over there is where we fought Genichiro in the prologue. As you can see, the bridge is completely out and would go to another area, but looks like it's been out for quite a long time. So over there is going to be Ashina Castle. That little secret passage area also, I'm very certain, most people have noticed, seems to be a callback to Bloodborne, where you fight the final boss. Or, I guess, one of the final bosses, because technically Murgo's wet nurse is one of the final bosses, and you don't fight her there. Every other final boss you do. So, we're going to be fighting the next mini-boss, which is why I mentioned animal cruelty. Unfortunately, we do have to death blow it. It's also, just in general, not treated very well. This is also kind of a hard boss for a lot of people. I find it a little bit hard. I'll show ways to make it much easier. If you're not doing it the ways I'm going to show, it's much harder. Welcome to Blazing Bowl. Someone took a bowl, removed its horns, and attached a log that's on fire, seemingly. I don't really understand how that works, if it's just like a demon bowl or what, but it looks like it's just a log on fire, with ropes holding it. If it hits you and you're guarding or deflect and it hits with its head, it will do chip damage because that's fire. You can sprint around, you can jump. This is a boss that being mobile can really help. It hits very, very hard. When it turns like this, I can jump over it and get just past it. This way it won't hit me. Right there I was resetting the fight. You can quit out of boss battles and it will set you up outside of the fight and reset the boss. It takes a little bit of loading, but this way, if you want, you can leave any boss battle. The games have, as far as I know, been like this since Demon Souls. I've been doing this since playing Dark Souls, for whenever I need to reset something. Blazing Bull's head is incredibly weak. If you can hit it in the face, it does extra damage. 2 thrusts will stagger the bull. Blazing Bull, you either want to Vitality Kill or Posture Kill. It'll really depend on what you're doing. If you're doing it very slow over time, you're probably going to Vitality Kill. If you're going off deflections and hitting it in the face, deflections, it's going to be Posture. Hitting it in the face, it could be either, really. It'll rear up like this. When it's jumping, kicking like this, as long as you dodge it, you've won the fight. Blazing Bull will run into a wall and then get completely posture broken and fall over, and you can death blow it. But I decided not to because I wanted to show a little bit more of the fight and talk about it. Blazing Bull is kind of hard to parry. Its big head charge has like a delay where it puts its head down, sweeps forwards, and then the actual lift up is when it hits technically. Blazing Bull doesn't target other enemies, despite what the NPCs say, which I think is kind of stupid, but it usually will end up killing them trying to get to you, because it does do damage every moment to enemies with its horns. Standing underneath the horns actually does build up fire. You can see at points if you have an enemy that's standing next to Bull, when they're standing beneath its horns, they'll just be taking damage the whole time, and they'll die. Although, a confusing thing, Blazing Bull is like lost its mind in like anger, but it doesn't have red eyes, and creatures like that are afraid of fire. I don't really understand why Blazing Bull wants to kill us. other than just trying to kill everything around you. You can use Firecracker on Blazing Bolt. It'll get it to rear up like that, stun it for a second, you can hit it a bunch. You can defeat Blazing Bolt by just running around every time it turns and hitting it in the butt. Classic Dark Souls. You can do like I'm doing here and just do quick steps and then keep doing a thrust attack to the face. That'll deal with it quickly. You can do little swipes to the face. Once you know what you're doing, Blazing Bolt isn't very difficult. Here, just showing a bit better the deflection timing. You can kill Blazing Bolt in the middle of a charge if its health is low enough. Also there I was showing that when Blazing Bolt doesn't get you with the horns, it does a little hip check when it turns. That can catch you off guard, but it isn't really a major threat. It just might damage you and catch you off guard. You can stay pretty close to Blazing Bolt and just keep dodging backwards from its head and hitting it. And this way you don't really need to deflect. I'm planning on using this method to defeat it with a no hit, no damage run. The other option of running around and hitting Blazing Bolt in the butt slowly over time will take a long time. There are ways you can do it faster. Usually if you're on New Game Plus or beyond. There are various buffs that will increase alt damage while lowering your health. There are ones that will just be a buff to your damage. For when fighting Blazing Bolt like this, if you want to sit down and just keep hitting it in the butt, you want to unlock and target your swing so that you'll be taking steps with every swing towards its backside. And that is the death of Blazing Bolt. Sorry. Which, that was a kind of cool way to kill it. You should have probably stabbed it in the brain.
Sounds like he's calmed down. What? The enemy is still alive! What? What about the bull? Where's the bull?
The English voice acting is so bad. Though I didn't notice before now, I think one of those soldiers just said something in Japanese. So I'm not sure if there are English grunts for the enemies. Like their grunts and like attacking noises might be Japanese.
Thank heavens. Thank heavens.
For what do you pray?
Oh, you there. Have you heard of the Senpo Temple? The Senpo Temple on Mount Kongo. A very special holy person lives in that place. Go on. Join me in prayer. Thank heavens. Thank heavens. Thank heavens. Thank heavens. The Senpo Temple on Mount Kongo. A very special holy person lives in that place. Go on. Join me in prayer. Thank heavens. Thank heavens.
We are going to go and talk to Tengu now that we have killed the rats. You definitely want to kill the rats. This is a very useful quest to do because of the reward. It also has some story significance. Also, this is recorded beforehand, that's why I'm dressed like this, and Tengu looks different because of it.
Ah, looks like you've caught yourself some rats.
Yes.
I knew you had a talent for killing. Wonderful. Here's your reward. Take it.
This is...
The ways of the Ashina Blade. It's our school of fighting. But there are no hard and fast rules. You just win your battles. That alone is the most important rule of the Ashina style. I hope it can be of assistance with your rat hunting. And most of all, your own battles you've yet to fight. About the ways of the Ashina Blade. It's our school of fighting. But there are no hard and fast rules. You just win your battles. That alone is the most important rule of the Ashina style. I hope it can be of assistance with your rat hunting. And most of all, your own battles you've yet to fight. About the way it's you just...
We've got some more stuff to listen to. There's a few things around Ashina Castle, since we're finally at Ashina Castle proper.
I heard you were the one that put the armor on that big bugger from Taro Troop.
Yeah, he was making a stink about it. It was a damned awful job.
But it looks like it paid off, didn't it? He already had a huge frame and massive strength, and you just made him near impervious to blades.
That is true, but he doesn't like that armor. And he sure didn't like me putting it on him. When a fight happens, it might come off easier than you think.
Lorethrough. It is time, Lady Emma. Yes, I know. Master Genichiro is waiting, is he not? I will return to the top of Ashina Castle. Wolf, that reed whistle we used before. This time, I will use it to call on you.
I'm sure you are all aware already. This coming battle will determine the fate of all Ashina. We go now to risk our lives for Lord Ishin and the peoples of Ashina. We are Ashina! We are unbreakable! Yeah! For Ashina!
Up here is one of the generals. He is a mini-boss. We'll be fighting him later. I actually want to go down a few side paths. When you arrive at Ashina Castle, there are a lot of paths actually. There are 3 main directions you can go, and then Ashina Castle also has a side area. Those 3 areas, 2 of them you can't complete yet. One of them you actually can. They'll be harder if you don't do Ashina Castle first, but by the same token, Ashina Castle will be easier if you do them first. There is a sort of difference. When we get to it, I'll talk about it. Depending on the order you do things, certain aspects of the world actually will be different. It's not a huge deal, but for that reason, people might find it easier to do other areas than Ashina Castle first, in the long run. But that is the end of this episode. I'll see you next time.